Hey, what is up, everyone? I hope you are having an awesome day, and it is great to see you again. Today, I have a grammar lesson about a verb tense. I've already made a lesson about the continuous verb tense, and today we're going to talk about the perfect verb tenses. These are a little bit difficult, and a lot of students make mistakes with them. Today, I'm going to explain the correct words to use in these tenses and when you should use them. So by the end of this, you should understand the perfect tenses and be able to use them correctly in your speaking and writing. Let's get started. Okay, guys, so the perfect tenses are probably the most complicated verb tense in English. So today, instead of explaining every single possible scenario that you're going to need this tense, I'm just going to give you the most common ways that you'll need it, and I'll explain that in a way that's pretty easy to understand. First, here is the perfect verb tense structure. All three perfect verb tenses, the past, present, and future, use a form of have and the past participle of your main verb. So you'll always have a form of the word have and another verb. For the past, you'll use had and your past participle main verb. For the present perfect, you will either use has or have depending on your subject and then your past participle main verb. And your future perfect, you'll use will have plus the past participle main verb. Now remember, the past participle verb tense is not always the same as the past tense. For most regular verbs, like the one at the bottom, you just add ed for the past and past participle. So play is present, played is past, and played is also the past participle. But a lot of verbs are irregular. They have three different forms. For example, go is present, past is went, and past participle is gone. Another common one is your be verbs. You can have is, are, or am for the present, was or were for the past, or been if you need the past participle. For these, unfortunately, there isn't really a grammar rule. You'll probably just have to memorize them. But if you make mistakes, it doesn't really change the definition or the meaning of what you're saying. So for communication purposes, it's not that big a deal. Okay, so let's talk about the present perfect tense. Almost all of the time, the present perfect tense is used for two different reasons. The first one is for actions that started in the past but are still happening or still affecting the present. So it started in the past, but it's still going on right now. Two examples. She has studied English for 4 months. So this means she began studying in the past. She began 4 months ago, but she's still studying today. So there I gave a specific amount of time, but you also can just say a general amount like that second example. I have lived in the US my entire life. Another important way that you need to know how to use this tense is for completed past actions. So it's already finished, but the time, so when this action happened, is not important. It doesn't matter. For example, I have already seen this movie. The important thing here is that I've seen it. It's not important when I watched it. It could have been last week or last year. Doesn't matter. The point is, I have seen this movie. And then another example, we've been to Disneyland twice. Same thing, I'm just saying that this event has happened. It doesn't really matter when it happened. Hopefully you understand the two most common ways to use this tense, because you need to understand this before you can understand the past and future. Remember, the first use of the present is that it's used for actions that began in the past but are still happening now. So for the past perfect, you can use that same definition about a past situation. So you're talking about a situation in the past. Use the past perfect for things that started before that situation, but are still happening during that past situation. For example, let's say you quit your job last week. A friend asks, "Hey, why did you quit your job?" And you say, "I had worked there for 3 years and was ready for a change." Here, you are talking about the situation in the past when you quit your job. At that time, you had started work there 3 years ago, you were still working there now, but you were ready for a change, and so you quit. Okay, so the other use of the past perfect is just like what we did earlier. You'll take the way that you would use it in the present and just apply it to a time in the past. So, let's imagine that you saw a concert last month with a friend. It was my first time seeing Maroon 5 in concert, but my friend had already seen them twice before. My friend seeing Maroon 5 is a completed action that happened twice before we saw them in concert last month. Here, it doesn't matter when my friend saw Maroon 5, the time is not important. I'm just saying that this happened twice already when we were in the situation of seeing the concert last month. Okay, another way, this one is not really related to the present tense, but the past perfect is also often used when you're explaining one action that is ending while another is starting. And so this can be when you're telling a story about something from the past. So I could say, "Last night, I had just taken a shower and was about to go to bed when I heard a strange noise outside." So here, had taken. I had just finished that action, taking a shower, and was about to start the other action of going to bed. Hopefully, you're able to follow that explanation of the past tense, because the future perfect tense is pretty much the same exact thing, but we are applying it to a future situation. So, the future perfect can be used for actions that are happening now, but will still be happening at a point in the future. And this is used when you're talking about that future situation. For example, "I'm not nervous about moving to America in 2020. I will have studied English for 6 years then, and I think I'll be nearly fluent." Same thing here. You're talking about a situation in the future. You can also use the future perfect for actions that will have been completed by the time that situation is happening. So I'm so excited to start traveling. By the end of this year, I will have visited 20 different countries. The time exactly when I visit each country is not super important. I'm just saying that at the end of this year, this will have been done. I will have visited 20 countries. Okay, let's get a little bit of practice in. I've written 4 sentences. I want you to read them, figure out what tense you need, and then correctly change each verb into that perfect tense. Okay, the first one, here I'm talking about the future. I'm talking about 8 o'clock tonight. I will have worked 12 hours by 8 o'clock. The second one, I'm talking about a situation from the past. I didn't like living in Korea at first, but after I had lived there for a few months, I really started to enjoy it. Next, this is the present because he started playing tennis when he was 6, but he still plays right now. And the last one, I'm just saying that this has been completed. I have eaten at this restaurant before. It doesn't matter when it happened. I'm just saying that it has happened. Okay guys, congratulations making it to the end of the video. I hope this is understandable for you. I hope that you now are able to use these tenses correctly. If you have any questions, you can always drop them in the comments. Keep studying hard, stay motivated, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Later, guys.